So what's this video about? Well, you probably know because you've seen my thumbnails, and you might have noticed over the last sort of 8 or 9 weeks I've been doing thumbnails, and I just thought you might like to know how I make them. There are quite a few videos on YouTube about making thumbnails, but I think most of them, although I haven't looked at all of them, so please excuse me if I'm wrong, they seem to use some sort of app to do it. Well, as you might have seen from the thumbnail for this video, which you will now see being made, the things that are on that are what I use to do my thumbnails. So there's not an app in sight. And I make mine individually for each video, so I don't have a template as such that I just plant stuff on. I actually do it, so you'll see how I make it, and comments would be grateful. Is it a good way of doing it? Is it silly, the apps would be better, or whatever? Yeah, so quite happy to show you. Whether you'll be interested, I don't know. So basically there's not going to be an awful lot of running in this, train running in this video, as you can imagine, but I will if I've got time, and I don't know how long this is going to take to do. I will run a little bit of video at the end to show the new Class 37 Bachmann with the Hornby TTS decoder, running around with the Dapol open wagons. I managed to take the errant one from the sin bin out and got it running reasonably well, and I thought I'd just do a sort of a fairly long view of the layout and show that it's switching tracks, so switching from the outside to the middle to the inside and back out again, and I will try and attempt to do it at about 50 miles an hour, but we'll see. I have done it once and it did seem to work, so we'll see. So I'll do that. So I'm sitting here, as I said, on the 4th of March at about 3 o'clock, and of course it's tea time, isn't it? So I've got me tea. And like a lot of YouTubers, I haven't got a posh mug with my name on it or whatever, but if I turn it round without burning my fingers, which could be fun, and hold it closer to the screen, I've got a nice owl on this one. So I'm hoping by drinking out of this cup that I'll get a bit of its wisdom. Because owls are noted for their wisdom, aren't they, and their knowledge. So anyway, so just to finish off, I would obviously like to thank any subscribers that have come on. So no further ado, that's a nice saying, that we all say that, well I do. We'll get on with the bit of film on making a thumbnail. Cheers everybody, cheers. Okay, so where do we start? Well, as I do mine individually for each video, I can choose what I have in the thumbnail. And for this particular one, obviously I'm doing a video on thumbnails. So I've got my computer open, which you will need to do this, and it shows my videos up with the thumbnails on. And the other things in the picture is my copy of PowerDirector 16, which is what I use to do it. Now, I don't necessarily think you need PowerDirector 16. Any editing suite that allows you to do titles and write on the titles will do this. And you might even be able to do it on Paint on Windows, although how you get it to the right size I'm not quite sure. And also in the picture you can see is my little Fujifilm camera, which I've used because I obviously need my camera that I actually use to take this picture. And I just thought I'd put one of the little Dapol trucks in case I managed to get the running session at the end, or the bit of running. In this particular instance, and if I move the camera around a little bit, I also need the light, because without the light on, this scene was very dark because the light is behind it. And the other thing I need is my Panasonic digital camera, although you could obviously use your movie camera. So we're all set up and ready to go. So the next bit is, so this is the back of the view on the viewfinder of the Panasonic camera you saw, and thumbnails must not be more than 2 megabits, otherwise they won't work. And as we know, YouTube usually choose some shots from your video to do as thumbnails. And the reason I do these, and I think most people do it, is because you have control over what you show. So to take the picture that we've set up, the thing you must do is go into your camera's settings, and in this particular case you go to record, and it says right at the top there, look, picture size. So if you click on that, and then you get all these others. Now, I usually take my pictures that you see in my videos at 16.9, 13.5 million pixels, which is quite a big, but that would be no good because the print would be huge. So I set it for 4.303, and that is then all completely ready to take your picture. And you can see there it's saying 4.38.3, and look how many pictures I could get on this card. I could get 38,029 pictures at this resolution. That'd last a long time, wouldn't it? So with the camera all set up and using the zoom on the camera to get the composition you want, it's a simple case of pushing the old button. I think I've got 2 there. I always take multiple snaps, just in case, and I always sometimes use a flash, so I shall do the same with this one. So there we are, we've got a nice selection of photos to do. So obviously the next thing to do is to download what you've taken onto your computer. And it will obviously depend on your own individual camera. Well, yeah, in this particular case you just click on DC, go to that one, and then usually they're right at the bottom. So there we are. So there's all our pictures that we've taken, and basically you want to transfer them obviously from the camera into the computer, and in my case you just click on that one, hold shift down, click on that one, and say copy, and I usually just try and choose a location which I haven't actually set up at the moment, but we'll put it into Panasonic pictures, rail pictures, which should be down here somewhere. There we are, look, Panasonic rail pictures. So we'll click on that and copy them in. And they're there, so quick. So there we are. So they're now in the computer. And it would probably pay you to have a look at them at full screen and choose which one you want to use for your picture on your thumbnail. Okay. So here we are on the PowerDirector control screen, really, isn't it? And what we actually want to do is go to titles, and you double click on this and the bigger one will come up. So as you can see, you have a choice on this particular program that you can insert a background. So push that and it brings up a box that you can then choose. So we need to go to pictures, don't we? And if you remember, we save them in Panasonic Rail Pictures. So they should be there. Let's have a look. Probably down the bottom. Let's have a look. Yes, there we are. So I don't quite know which one to use. I think we'll use this this first one. They're all pretty the same, I think. So there we are. So you open it, and it asks if you want to stretch it, which I do because I want it to fill the whole screen. You can have letterbox where it would then think, but remember you've recorded it in very, you know, not many pixels. So stretch, and there we are. We have our bottom. Yes, I know it distorts it a bit, but I don't think that matters. And we've got our beginnings of our thumbnail. So the next bit to do is start adding your type. So when I do it, that's at 48. I reduce it down to 36, and then I start off with Robert's train set, of course. You need to obviously try and get it in the middle of the picture, up there somewhere. And like all these, when you're editing and everything in a word processor, you can affect it. So first thing I'm going to do is push to center all the text that I'm going to add in, and I do find it helps with bold, and I don't want it in the black, and I usually have it in the yellow, don't I? So we'll have the yellow. So it's the yellow, and I've been recently adding a little bit of shadow, so we'll do that. I think that will do. I think we'll probably see it. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just see what that's like by clicking it. There we are. So Robert's train set. Go back again. Click on there. Do enter. What we're going to call it? Got to think of a title. Well, I think the easiest title is thumbnails. Can't spell. So I don't really want it all in the same colour, so we'll highlight those and we'll change the colour to let's try a dark blue, shall we? Okay, and it will be bold. So let's see what that looks like. That's not too bad. I think that will actually do. If I wanted to put more writing in, I'd make these smaller, because you can do them individually. So do each line individually, or even each letter individually. So I think we've got it. The Robert's train set, thumbnails, how I do them, and it's a wrap, I think. So I go down here to save as, and I think if I just write thumbnails in, that will do. Thumbnails. I've forgotten something, haven't I? Let's put a B in there, shall we? OK. So that's saved, as you can see at the top there, and OK. And then, as you can see, in my area where custom titles go, we've got our what's the name, and there it is. So we're all done. So that's great. Okay. So I think we can go out of PowerDirector, hopefully, or I'll minimise it, I think. Right, so the next thing you need to do is, obviously, when you have uploaded to YouTube, you need to be able to find this thumbnail. And in my system, all that it saves goes into, we bring up the File Explorer and we go to Documents. There's a cyber link, so click on the cyber link and the PowerDirector, and it's all in this number 16. And these are all your different bits and pictures and whatever. So my titles, so it's in my titles, and if you pan down right to the bottom, there it is. So click on it again, and there we are. So that's the original picture, and you get two. You get thumb JPG or thumb PNG. I tend to use the PNG when I do it, and you just need to find that when you click on the thumbnails in the YouTube way, whichever way you load up, and it will find it and click on it and it will save it for you. And that's it. That's all I do. And I quite like that I can tailor each one to what I want and what I'm filming. So that's about it. That's about it. So we'll click that off. And if you're wondering how I got it filmed, I used a screen recorder, which is in my editing program. So I think we need to stop that now. The only thing I didn't do is record my voice on the screen recorder. I've recorded it on my video camera. So I'll have to tie it together. That could be fun. Okay, so here we are. I did say that if we had enough time I'd show this. So here we have the Bachmann 37.5 Colas Freight Class 37 with the TTS Hornby decoder in it, sound decoder, obviously. Pulling the Dapol open wagons. And the problem with these wagons I've found with a couple of them is that the chassis are twisted. The wheels aren't level, at rail level. So they then, when they get to a point, they don't like it. So I put some packers on the ones that I need, and it's, as you can see, it's running around quite happily at 50 miles an hour. So the object of this exercise is to take it from the outer track it's on now, through middle to the inner track, and then back out again. And I'll put some sound on. Okay? So this is at 50 miles an hour according to Railmaster. Well, I think we can say that was fairly successful. I did have the brake van did decide to uncouple. But it worked really well. I'm really pleased with those. I hope if you want to do your own thumbnail, you can do. So again, thanks for watching and watch out for the next one. Cheers everybody. Cheers.